Sound Off.
Rated T14.
Welcome back to Sound Off. I'm your host, Claudine Lance Schofield. Here at Sound Off, it is our goal to make sure we deal with topics that are relevant to our youth. And we are sponsored weekly by Carolina Teen Health. And because we want to keep it relevant, we thought it was necessary to talk about the danger of texting while driving. And I am very honored to have with us on this morning Corporal Tyrese Nesmith from the Conway City Police Department. Y'all, let's give it up for Tyrese. And of course, here's the team. Introduce yourselves.
Javante,
Brianna,
Aria, Angelica,
and Ruby.
And Ruby. Okay, let's go back and talk about some of the alarming statistics. Research reveals that 46% of drivers under 18 admit to texting while driving, while 61% of teen drivers admit to risky driving habits. And also, talking on a cell phone while driving can make a young driver the reaction time as slow as that of a 70-year-old. Now, not my father-in-law, because he's 70 and you would think that he's about 50, but the typical 70-year-old, while you're talking on a cell phone, your reaction time is definitely slow down. Would you have you heard that before, Corporal Nesmith?
Definitely.
Okay.
Your reaction time slows down any distraction that you have.
Okay, I'm going to go to Aria in a minute, but let me ask you this. Corporal Tyrese Nesmith, help me. What can we do as parents and you as law enforcement to help our young people to understand the danger of texting and driving?
Well, as stated before, for one, as parents, we need to talk to our kids, let them understand that this is very, very, very serious. As far as law enforcement, what I do, if I do catch someone texting and driving, and I mean where I can clearly see that that's what they're doing, then I have pulled them over, and it has been mostly, they'll get a warning ticket, and that's for me. That doesn't say that's the standard, but
right.
To make them aware, especially when it's teenagers, that, this is very dangerous. I actually have stopped people that I thought were drunk driving.
Okay.
They're swerving all on the road. They've almost hit cars. Only to get there to find out, I was texting my girlfriend.
Wow.
Or I had a manager of a grocery chain. About 2 weeks ago, I stopped her, and she was trying to coordinate the schedules. And she's like, yeah, I was on the phone, and she's weaving back and forth and back. She almost hit the bridge. And I'm like, well, what were you doing? I was trying. I got so much I got to do. And, like I say, in the fast-paced society that we have today, we have so much to do that everybody gets caught up into. I have to do all of this, that if you just pull over, you'll probably get it done quicker.
Right. And
then you can concentrate on what you need to do, get home or do whatever, wherever you're headed. But it actually happens. We come in contact pretty frequently with a lot of people that are texting or reading a text, or now we have smartphones. Everybody either has an Android. You're not saying that it was right when everyone had the old Nokias, as we were talking earlier.
Right.
All you had was buttons,
Nokia.
3 clicks, to text. Now you have Facebook. You're trying to update your status. You're trying to read everybody's, happenings. You're trying to post something silly you saw, riding down the road. And you have YouTube. You have TVs on phones. They're more complicated. You can't just dial a phone like you used to with the iPhone. You got to go through, I know my phone, I have to go through 2 menus just to get to where I can dial a number, and it looks like, hey, that person's texting, when really they're just trying to make a phone call. So, with the sophistication of phones, and it's taking a lot more time to make a basic phone call, that you're distracted. You're not paying attention to what's in front of you. You might miss that car that came out of Hardee's. You might miss, a lot of things. And now either you're in an accident or you've ran into something yourself. We've had people hit poles at Walmart parking lot. They think because I'm in the parking lot, no big deal. I'm in the parking lot, it's cool. And they've hit them poles. It's been out there forever. They don't move,
Yeah,
but they're running them down like, it's nothing to it. All because got to get on that phone. And, I think a lot of people mistake that. Well, I'm not on the road. I'm in the parking lot. People are walking in parking lots. You have, like I say, the poles are in parking lots, and they tend to forget, oh, it's okay. And next thing we know, now you got yellow paint down the side of your car.
Wow. Okay, well, Aria, we were talking during the break, and I thought you brought up a really important something you wanted to ask Officer Nesmith.
Is dialing a phone number the same issue as texting while driving?
I would say it is. Kind of like what I said just now. no one has the basic phones. You very rarely see one of those you just flip open and, now you have to take a little bit more effort into dialing, even just to get to the speed dial menu. It takes a little bit to get there. So any type of distraction, definitely, whether it's reading the text or like, you're dialing the number, is a distraction.
And so, Angelica, you talked about the fact that, and it doesn't make it right, but let's talk about that straight road Angelica was talking about.
Yeah, because when I text, I tend to get on straight roads and I just start texting, thinking that, because it's not like a curve. It's not like you got to be because you got to concentrate. When you're driving around a curve, you need to be aware of what you're doing when you're on the curve. But, like if you just going straight the whole time, I'm not saying look completely down and text, but would you? Some
sounds
people
like you're trying to justify.
No, I'm saying some people tend to think it's safer to drive and text on a straighter road than as a curve. And I admit that I do have that attitude sometimes. I do.
But does that make your attitude right?
No, it does.
Okay.
It doesn't make it right at all. And I'm not saying it's okay to text on a straight road. I'm saying some people have that attitude, and it's not right because you still can hit something. A deer or animal could walk in the middle of the road, or a child may walk out. You may hit that child just looking down or texting on a straightaway road. So. Just like to put that out there.
Yeah, okay. Well, what about you, Javante? What do you think is your responsibility as a teenager? You said, do you text and drive?
At a stop sign or a stoplight.
Okay, at a stop sign or a stoplight. So, okay, that's pretty good. So you don't really text and drive. I think Corporal Nesmith said that would probably, if you're going to do it, it would probably be safer to do it at a stop sign.
Right, or at a red light.
Or at a red light. That's
a good conditioning tool. It is not a habit that you can break because everybody has to get those text messages out. It's not an easy habit because we've all been doing it for so long. But once you condition yourself to doing that, it becomes second nature, just with anything else. It takes about, 10 days for you to develop a new habit. After you keep repetitively doing that, then it become okay. It isn't that serious. Well, I text her back when I get home, and really it might help you think a little clearer because you're not, our brains are constantly going, and getting back to like what she said, Courtney was on the straightaway when they got into theirs, and even the one that I mentioned earlier, it was at nighttime with blue lights. How could you miss those? For one, and it was on the straightaway. Yeah. That, so like she said, a lot of people think, I'm out of the curve, I'm good. Right. But there usually are side roads that are coming out, and I think they do tend to think I'm good. It's okay, and then they, you miss it.
I think once you had the personal experience, like as a parent.
Right.
Once you pull up and realize that your child was involved, then I think it's an eye-opening. And that's what I kind of wanted to go around and ask you guys, as a teenager, if you don't text and drive, I'm not trying to put all the pressure on you, but can you influence your friends and help them to realize the danger of texting and driving? Is that something that, as an individual, you think, can it become a domino effect? Where if Javante doesn't do it, then all your friends, all your buddies, can you kind of influence them not to do it?
I think it's more so if one of your friends or a relative or somebody you close to gets hurt, then that may have to start the domino effect. Just probably saying something, be like, yeah, I hear you. It might stop for a little while, but until something happens is when they really going to stop.
Okay. What about you, Brianna?
I think what Javante said is true. It's going to take something happening for the person for a domino effect to start and for people to stop texting while driving.
Wow, I'm really getting goosebumps because I understand what you guys are saying, but does it really have to take all that?
Exactly. It should not have to take that.
Very nervous.
Not necessarily somebody getting hurt, but just the awareness, the caution, someone almost getting into an accident that might.
Okay, but can I ask you, would you mind being that example? You understand what I'm saying? If you don't do it, and then you have 5 friends, and everybody's in the car, your friend that is driving is picking the phone up, getting ready to text.
I mean,
Can I ask Brianna to say, no, girl, put the phone down. You know, what do you need? I'll do it for you.
Yeah, but most likely, if I'm in the car, then I'll take the phone and I'll text for them.
Okay. That's all I'm saying. Angelica?
I think it all starts with speaking up. I tend to do that. If I'm in the car with somebody and I feel like they're putting my life on the line,
right.
I'm gonna speak up for my life. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
I'm gonna say something. If they're texting somebody, hey, listen, please put the phone down, or do you need me to text for you?
Right.
Yeah,
I will do it. I have no problem texting.
Because Angelica
for you.
loves Angelica.
I sure do. And Angelica is 20 and cute, and she cannot die too early, okay?
I am not mad at you, and you know what? If that's what it takes, then so be it. I am not mad at that. In other words, Ruby, if somebody's driving your car or you're riding with somebody and they're
if
texting.
someone's driving my car, yeah, but I mean, don't.
Oh, gotta work on Ruby. Okay. What about Aria? You're not driving as of yet, right?
No.
But you are a future driver. So what do you think? What about when you're riding in the car with your dad? And don't put your dad on blast, but does your dad actually text while he's driving, Aria?
Sometimes.
Okay. So now that we're having this conversation, can we put some pressure on our parents? Let's flip it a little bit. In other words, if you're in the car, Daddy, we had the conversation. You know what the fatalities are. You know what the statistic says about, come on. Then your daddy's going to be like, gonk. So can we do that? Do you think it's necessary for kids put a little pressure on parents?
Yes, and sometimes my mom, she does what Javante does. She waits till she gets to a stop sign or something.
Yay, Christy. I'm giving it up for Christy. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, so you need to work on your daddy, honey. Work on your daddy.
Well, I think people tend to, we've been desensitized, if that makes sense, in society, because we see so much gore, because like say you're on the internet, oh, let's look at this bad accident. Oh, wow, look at that. I think they tend to, oh, okay, that's never going to happen, or, no big deal. And some of them will adapt the attitude that, well, when it happened to me, I'll care.
Right.
But there's also property damage. For one, most drivers, insurance rates are too high on them anyway, for most parents.
That's right.
And I don't think they realize just one traffic collision, no matter how minor you may have just bumped that car. We live in a litigious society and people jump out of cars. I've seen them. Oh, my neck hurts. All of these doctor bills are now coming, regardless of whatever you feel that they're playing or not. Those bills are going to be coming.
Right.
So now you've cost not only your parents money, the insurance rates have gone up higher. I think they tend to, okay, well, yeah, a fatal could happen, but so can money. Right. That money coming out of pocket.
Okay. All right. Well, this is getting good, and I think we will continue this discussion on texting while driving. You're listening to Sound Off, and we'll be back.
My best friend's sister, she had a lot of friends, just not enough time. So she got really good at texting while driving. I mean, she was amazing. But ever since the accident, everything has changed. She still has a lot of friends, but now she has no time.
Hi, Dave. My mate Jules fancies you. Don't. Cass. It's not even funny now. Let me just get his number.
An Elk Grove family is warning teens and parents about the dangers of texting while driving. That's because their 18-year-old relative was killed in a head-on crash, all because she was focusing on her cell phone. Carol Totis is speaking out so other teens won't make the same mistake. Police in Peoria, Arizona, is calling this accident one of the worst they have ever seen. That accident happening on Monday. Officers say the teenager was text messaging when she crashed head-on with another driver. Both of them were killed.
And unfortunately, she did make an irresponsible choice. And I know that she didn't think, oh, I'm going to die, or she wouldn't have done it.
As lawmakers shouldn't wait any longer to make text messaging while on the road illegal. In fact, there's a proposed bill currently in the works for California. It has already gone through the Senate and will possibly go to the Assembly floor on Monday.
Now you're listening to Sound Off, and we invite you to join this conversation. All you have to do is simply log on to www.wesoundoff.com, and you can be a part of this discussion. Sound Off.
Rated T14.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's go! What's up?